now our last sports story. All right, this is about Zlatan Ibrahimović and LeBron James. I'm sure for our American viewers, you all know who LeBron James is. He's the Tom Brady of basketball, even though that could be Michael Jordan. Actually, that's probably Michael Jordan, but LeBron James is the current Tom Brady of basketball. All right. So, and for my soccer fans, this is Zlatan Ibrahimović. He's a journeyman soccer player. Like, he's gone to many different leagues, and the thing about him is wherever he goes, he wins. Right? He didn't win any trophies when it came to the MLS to play for the LA Galaxy, but he was a larger than life presence. Many people that know me know that he's like my favorite player. He's the reason why I started rooting for Paris Saint-Germain back in like 2014, I think. Anyway, he's one of these guys who, he's very braggadocious. Like it's part of his shtick, but people like him for it. They're like, oh, it's Zlatan, he's so funny. Well, he had an interview with UEFA and Discovery Plus, and I don't know how the interview got in that direction, but basically he said that he was talking about athletes unite the world, politics divided. Our role is to unite the world by doing what we do best. Athletes should be athletes, and politicians should do politics, right? Okay. Now that doesn't seem too bad. But basically, we should stick in their lane. We should stick in our lane. They should stick in their lane. And then he brought up LeBron James, and he's like, I like LeBron a lot. Or in here it says I like James a lot. He's phenomenal. What he's doing. He's phenomenal. What he's doing, but I don't like. Well, okay. First of all, Zlatan is Swedish, so maybe his English isn't exactly the best. But it boils down to he's not too keen on LeBron James speaking out on quote unquote political issues.
I know, but the specific words he uses there is actually quite important to me. But I don't like when people with a status speak about politics.
I don't like when people with a
status is so important.
Okay.
But why is go that? Ahead. Keep saying what you're saying. But I want to go back to the word status, because that's actually a very important word that he uses.
Yeah. So I'll just finish up by saying he said that I play football because I'm the best at playing football. I don't do politics. If I'd been a politician, I'd be doing politics. This is the first mistake famous people do when they become famous. For me, it's better to avoid certain topics and do what you're good at doing. Otherwise, you risk doing something wrong. All right. What did you want to touch on with regards to status?
So the part that he said, status, people with status, right? That's the important part, though. The fact of the matter is, when you get certain statuses, you do get certain power, and you should be using that power that you have to do things. Because you know what? Him saying that, people can toss it around and say, well, then you shouldn't be doing philanthropic things because you're not a philanthropist. Stick to your sports. No, but you get that. You get this God-given talent or this natural talent, and it's given to you. It gives you opportunities to actually do something with it. Basically, what he was doing is he was saying the same thing that the politician said to LeBron James. Just shut up and dribble. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. Sports has actually been advancing us for the longest time. Because remember the Olympics, right? I'm not sure. Well, I forget which one it was, but it was in Mexico. Yeah. Also, remember the Nazis were trying to advance, show the advancements, how superior they were. And then who was it?
Jesse Owens, right?
Jesse Owens, yeah. Jesse Owens goes and shows everybody, and then Germany loves him.
Yeah,
the same Germany that later on does what's it called? Does the Holocaust, or was I think were they?
No, that was before. That was before the Holocaust. It was 1932. Yeah,
I guarantee you, the Jesse Owens in the back of some of those people's heads, some of the normal ones, like not actual soldiers, that probably stuck to them. Like, yo,
yeah, they're like, hey, what I mean? He's not part of the Aryan race, but he's beating all these blonde white folks,
and he's a cool dude, blue eyes, and they like him.
Racing, yeah. He's a humble guy and he's winning. So maybe they aren't,
So no, I completely disagree with what he says about how certain, look, I don't like Nick Bosa's politics. or the Bozo brothers. I actually feel like they kind of come off as D-backs to me. Okay. Just from their attitudes and how the whole braggadocious thing that this football player has, that I get. That's just part of sports, right? That usually makes people, that either makes you like somebody or dislike somebody, right? Like, I might like his braggadocious but dislike I don't know, OBJ's, or I might like what's his name? Oh, the fighter. McGregor.
Floyd Mayweather. No?
Yeah. I might like McGregor. I might dislike Floyd Mayweather.
McGregor.
I see. Yeah, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the whole braggadocious, that's whatever. Yeah. But no, when you get to a certain level, and people like LeBron James who are doing good, a lot of good, trying to get black kids to graduate college or high school, right? I think he pays for colleges too, right?
A lot of people in Akron, yeah.
You had work done. He did a lot of Habitat for Humanity or a lot of houses for domestic violence victims, right? That's still politics. Like, trying to take away that, like you said, they have a status, so they should be able to use that status to how they see fit.
Yeah. So, my issue actually with his statement is in the use of the word politics. I don't agree that the stuff that Work Done does and all that stuff is politics. No, it's philanthropy. I feel like we use that word politics too broadly.
I guess I'm more saying along the lines of, like I said, if you're talking about somebody shouldn't do politics, then you're also saying they shouldn't be doing philanthropy because
right.
You're doing more than just sports.
So anyway, I think we use that word too broadly, and that's what he's doing here, because to him, to make a commentary on, because obviously this has a lot to do with the whole Black Lives Matter thing. Like, if anyone who watches the English Premier League, or even other leagues are doing it too, but definitely the English Premier League, at the start of every game, all the players take a knee, like in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement, and then they play the game, right? So this is what he's referring to when he's talking about politics coming into sports. But the thing is, Black Lives Matter, the movement, the idea that, hey, look, man, we're getting shot at a rate that we shouldn't be. I don't think this is right. We should do something about it. We should speak out against it. It's not a political thing. It's literally just saying, please shine the light on this. This is an epidemic we have in this country that we need to stop. It became political when our political leaders decided to make it so. When the president of the United States decided to make it a part of his rally and say that, fire those sons of bitches, I believe is how he phrased it, right? That's when it became political. But human rights is not a political issue. So that's my first problem with what Zlatan said. My second problem is that it shows a lot of privilege for him to be able to say that, stick to what you do, and, I stick to what I do, let politicians do what they do. LeBron James cannot undo the fact that he's a black man, right? You can see LeBron James and instantly know that that's LeBron, but he can't remove the blackness from his kids or from his cousins or his friends from back home, all of whom are susceptible to the kind of things that we saw happen to Eric Garner, George Floyd. The list is endless, right? So for LeBron James, it's much bigger than, oh, here's something happening in the world of, politics or social media. Let me put my finger on the scale. No, for him, it's about him. It's about his family. It's about his country, and something that he sees is wrong. And he has excelled at what he does. He has attained this status, and you can either attain a status and use that platform for positive change. You can use it for negative change, or you can just not use it. But if someone is going to use it for positive change, who are you to tell them that, no, stay in your lane, don't use your platform? That's my problem with what he said. So
yeah, because actually an interesting point about Black Lives Matter is the recent report just came out that the disproportionate deaths of Black individuals, of cops, the cop shootings have gone down. That can be attributed to Black Lives Matter. That can also be attributed to coronavirus, going down, less people being out, right?
there's a spotlight on it.
It's a spotlight. So it's
there are
making
lots.
think twice.
Yeah, exactly. And that was always the crux of the problem, right? We always felt like, yeah, and again, I don't want to paint with a broad brush, but more so than not, we always felt like if a cop gets to a situation, gets to a scene of a potential crime or whatever, and he sees that it's a white person doing something, he takes the time to cycle through the next, course of action and then do that. Whereas we felt like when a cop gets to the scene of crime and it's a black person, he doesn't take that time. He's like, threats. And then he does something that, ends up poorly. And that's why we want to say that, hey, look, we matter too, right? Don't, take that time to make the right decision. Don't just kill us. We don't want to be the next hashtag.
Yeah, it's kind of like somebody said, some white individual got arrested, right? And he didn't get killed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then somebody said, we're not asking for you guys to kill them like us. We're asking you to not kill us like you don't kill them.
Exactly. Yes.
And I'm going to tell you right now, if I was a famous athlete, I would have spoken on immigration a long time ago. Because even though that's political, that's still human rights.
Yeah.
We need to talk about it.
At the end of the day, I guess everything can be political, right? But at the end of the day, it's what matters to you. You care about it.
The one thing I hate is when people say you mix sports and politics. No, because last I checked, when he's doing his sports, he's not shooting, saying Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he instead of saying Kobe, he's saying Black Lives Matter or vote for Biden. He's not saying anything like that. Yeah. When he's doing his sports, he's doing his sports. So why the hell isn't he has 24? He's 2 hours in the day is sports. He could do 22. Whatever else he wants to do with those other 22 hours, he could do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's in a press conference and then the sports journalists are asking about Black Lives Matter, because if they are, it's their fault for asking. What's he gonna do? Be like, no, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to mix politics and sports. No, you ask me a question about something that I care about, I'm gonna answer you. You blame the reporter for asking the question. Now, if you're mad that someone wants to take a knee during the national anthem, why? You don't want to take a knee, don't take a knee. But why are you mad at someone else taking a knee? Is it really that much of an affront to you? It's just. But I don't want to get into the flag issue. That's been beaten to death. But yeah, this idea that you are an athlete and therefore you shouldn't talk about things outside of your athleticism, that's BS, right? That's back to slave days. That's back to, look, you're good for carrying, for picking cotton, and that should be all we ever hear from you. You should be seen, not heard. Like, nah, man, screw that. He had the platform. He should be allowed to use it however he chooses to do so. And anyone who tells him otherwise.
And you know what? And at the end of the day, if the people don't want to hear it and they want to cancel him for that, then the people will do that. But if they want to hear it, if people do want to hear it, if people want to hear his, you're going to have a few people hating on him. But you know what? That's something that he's willing to do with people who are hating him, but people who are also listening to him, right? That's his platform. He's able to do what he wants to do.
It's just like us, right? When we speak on certain things that we're like, oh, I don't know, this is a touchy subject. Should we talk about it? We talk about it knowing that some people will agree and some people will disagree. Those are the decisions you make as a human being when you decide to,
and that's the only way you
spill your guts. Yeah. LeBron does it on a much larger scale, of course.
No, I don't know. I think me and you are pretty much on the same level.
Pretty much, yeah, millions, yeah, okay. But it's the same thing. You make that decision as a human being. I feel strongly enough about this to say something, and some people will like it, some people will hate it, but I feel like it needs to be out there. Anyone who's not in the arena trying to, wag their finger at someone who was brave enough to get into the arena, I don't care to hear what you have to say. Get in the fight or don't talk. But to speak from outside that, oh, you shouldn't be into that, nah, get out of here. We don't want to hear it. So anyway, that's my thoughts on that.
We ended sports on a fun note.
Yeah.